Welcome back, CataclysmGaming. I'm your host, Grim Reaper, and I'm bringing you beginner guides to agents across a lot of maps. It's going to show very basic details, and it's going to make you learn the agent quick, easy, and be ready to take it into ranked. Sit back, relax, be sure to like, subscribe. It means the world to us. Alright, let's get into it. Welcome back, guys, and in today's episode I'm bringing you a Cypher guide to Abyss. I'm not only gonna just go over really good defensive setups, but I'm gonna teach you how I play this map in high radiant lobby. Alright, let's get into it. Starting off towards A on a pistol buy, I like to buy a cage and a trip with a ghost. Ideally, piss around information is the biggest thing to know. I throw a camera up top like this to see early info deep A main. Now, since it's a Cypher, you gotta worry about shock dart, and Sova's very common on this map. There's two type of trips you can do. This one, or as soon as barriers drop, doing a super quick one deeper, like so. Then for my cage, just on this right side. This is for when enemies are pushing A main. A lot of times the shock dart is going to bounce in this area and miss this trip, allowing you to pop this cage for cover, and if you have your teammate smoke this for you, cage triggered, you get free spam kills. On a normal gun round, you can start to play for the full sight instead of just playing for early info, especially with this camera still, but moving it more left and then jump throw. This doesn't see the deep line, but is a really good retake camera and information for if they push into sight. Since we have a rifle now, putting this trip is going to deny people jumping up right away. Now for the second trip, this guy right here, cage number 1 and cage number 2. This setup can be played from heaven because any team are always going to be smoking this, and you can get free spam kills on the jump up and if they're coming towards bridge. Or this can be played from backside. Same idea with this cage. Cage trigger. Hop, spam off this close trip. Or if you know the enemy team don't like to push right anymore because you condition them that you're there and you dominate them, popping this cage and swinging. Cage triggered. Same concept applies. Ideally, if you keep your setups as simple and clean, they can be the most devastating thing to the enemy team, especially if you know just to counterplay the enemy's util. Now let's talk about B real quick. Towards B, we have two types of setups we can do. Kill lane and like another kill trip in this area, or denying the jump across. What type of camera do you think we need to do? Well, I got two that I can show you. As soon as barriers drop, if you want early deep B info, camera like this for orb control. Second camera for just playing for sight control, but you also get that early info just along this wood and then jump throw. Now I'll show you one more camera for the road. Aim at this and then do a jump throw. This is going to be covered by this little box, but still see the full walk up, and you can play this for sight. Now, as Cypher, to hold this sight down, I like to play either back sight on this box and or heaven. The reason is I'll put usually kill trips along this line, like so. One trip here, then I will also put a cage here. And then if I'm playing towards back sight, I'm going to be playing off of this kill trip. Then also with a cage. And then to make this a lot better, I'll usually have my controller player throw me a smoke here because the cage does not cover this whole lane. Playing this from backside, you're able to spam through this box for this trip. If you're playing this from this box / library stairs, you can play off this trip from here, spamming through here, or also spamming here. And then since the enemy team love to smoke heaven on every single take because it's a necessity, free spam kills from heaven. That's a very easy setup that I do. Now, this mid position, if you are towards B and you're worried about a mid lurk, just putting a trip here will give you solid information about this push. Mid, I usually leave up to my initiator and my rotating players. Ideally, because Cypher is such a good anchor, this mid space, he doesn't really belong here, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Alright, let's talk shop about this attack side. Obviously, we would need a flank info trip for A. If we're going towards B, putting this trip is really good because it gets a late lurk timing of whoever's pushing through A. They get hit by this. Also pairing it for this mid info cam. This camera is going to give you information if they're walking down right away, peeking, an operator, and then if they do break this trip, you get all the info of your spawn, and you get the audio info that this camera will listen to, like through a main orb, walking up, anything like that too. Now, you gotta remember, as Cypher, you're playing the lurk role, so you can take timings, show aggression, show fake aggression, or let them know that you're here so they have to worry about you. Also, you could also just group up with your team and push with them too. But if your team is going towards B, I like to also do this trip here. This trip is going to stop a lot of the mid rotators who like to break through vent, walk down after your team's taken sight. Now, playing with this trip is going to net you a lot of kills, or also just leaving it here for this early information. As Cypher, and more specifically the lurk role, you gotta take so much aggression, but also not worry about your life too much, because if you get that full pressure, either mid, you can trust your aim. Challenging fights, let them know you're here, and then drop a cage and you disappear. Also, a fun fact about this map is when you're in mid, jumping on this box allows you to break vent for free and super safe. Now, if your team is going for an A split, after checking cam, you could try to take your timing, go into this vent that you've broken, and then just surprise people walking out. And or, if your teammates have planted on B, just taking the timing by walking up mid. This has been a really quick setup guide, very basic, but it's gonna tell you how I kind of play the map as Cypher. This is how I net wins specifically on Abyss. Feel free to comment down below, ask any questions, I'll be there to answer. All right, other than that, I'm out. Peace, peace.